Good evening, one and all. It's indeed a pleasure to welcome you all for the day 3 of batch 4 of the Certified Global Trainer Program. It's indeed a pleasure to welcome you all. Today we have participants for worldwide, all the participants we have for this batch from all the different countries of the world. And yes, indeed we are privileged to have very well known trainers for each of the day. The day one we had Dr. Ravi Kumar KS, who is from India. Day two we had Professor Nada Ratkovic, she's from Croatia, and it's a day three. Yes, indeed, we have the wonderful personality, the gorgeous woman with the brilliance, Dr. Srividhya Sukumar. She is from UAE. She's an educationist, governance advisor, quality assurance audit expert, strategic transformations, research and development consultant, life and business coach, an author, columnist, global chair at GSFN, global ambassador at UN, and she is the country director of the International Internship University for UAE. So, with a round of applause, let's welcome our today's wonderful trainer, Dr. Srividhya Sukumar. And I'm very much sure that for the next 70 to 90 minutes is going to be a very flawless session, and you will not even get to know like the other 2 days when the 90 minutes got over. All the participants are requested to kindly keep themselves on a mute so that we will not have any kind of disturbance in the session. Thank you so much. So herein I welcome Dr. Srividhya. So you can please start, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So, good evening to one and all. It's again a wonderful session with you all. I'm so happy to be a part of it in the Global Trainer Program of IIU. As we all know, IIU has been the world's first international internship university, which is inspiring, inventing, and igniting young minds. So, as we all know, again, IIU International Internship University is a leading virtual education system and a global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide and well reputed in delivering the innovative programs. Globally, it is a trusted name for quality training programs and is committed in providing a better and virtual education to all young learners across the globe. In short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in all the 195 countries and 6 continents. I'm sure it's going to place its foot in Mars or even Jupiter as well very soon. So under the strong leadership of the visionary founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit sir, a committed, inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist, for the last 2 decades, IIU has been consistently providing education to students from various social backgrounds and cultural backgrounds across the globe. So, with due gratitude to IIU, we would open up today's session. And today's session, as we all know, it's about Global Trainers Program, on which we're going to talk about the skills, competencies, and also the challenges. Wherever there is a skill, there is a challenge. And when there is a challenge, we're going to look back again and we're going to develop the competencies. We're going to move ahead, again, recouping and equipping ourselves to face the challenges ahead. So on that note, I would welcome each one of you to celebrate every single moment of your life, even this moment where you are associated with me, to evolve as self, community, and terrain. I repeat it, to evolve as self, community, and terrain. Why do I stress that? Because end of this program, what is going to be your takeaway? Please take it forward, take it within you, such that you are able to take it forward to the community, such that you're going to bring reflections in the terrain. So, why do we do that? As we all know, destiny is a wonderful tapestry in which every thread is guided by an unspeakable tender hand placed beside another thread by thread and held and carried by 100 others, such that we become the gleaming beauty of your own spectrum, We mirror and create ourselves, and thus we become the Aham Brahmasmi. So, in this global trainer program, that's what we are going to see ahead. As I told you, skills are very, very important. We need to acquire skills. Why do we do that? What is all meant? Why do we need to acquire that particular skill? Can we have a look at this video, which I'm trying to play here? Hope the sound is heard. So this is what the skill is all about. Hope you enjoyed the video. That was just a teaser as a show starter, I would say. Well, so skills, today's takeaway is going to be the challenges, which is going to be matched with the skills and the processes involved. Such that, what is this word? That's what coaching is all about, in the sense like, why do we need a coach? As we have seen in the video, why the owner of the ship had to pay this much to the. I'm sorry, something else is opening. I'm sorry. Why do you think that the owner of the ship had to pay so much to um, the engineer? Why? Because he had got the skill to fix the problem that was a perennial problem, and the owner could not find a solution for it. That's why this coaching is very important. Why do we need a coach? What is meant by why do we need a coach? These are the things that we are going to see in the first half. And then moving ahead, how to evolve ourselves as the coach, as a coach. Kindly give me 2 minutes. Let me just settle this one up. This is really irritating me. Sorry about it, please. I'm just trying to fix it. Yeah, hopefully. Okay. What is meant by coaching? That's what we're going to see today. Coach, etymology as it derived from the word French coach. That means French word coach and the German word coach, from the Hungarian it's kosi, all put together, it was a coach, a carriage from which that could carry, a type of a vehicle that could transport passengers from one location to another. Secondly, coach is a word. It refers to a person who provides specialized training, guidance to help others improve their skills in a particular sport or an activity, like preparing for an examination. So coaching is a way or the we work together with a benefit. That's what is the thing is all about. And in order to enhance our work performance, it is quite imperative to intentionally create learning situations with proper guidance. So, hope you all agree with me. That's what this coaching, or any other coaching that should give you. So this can be achieved by devising a plan that enables individuals to convert their daily routines tasks into learning opportunities with the assistance of a supervisor or a mentor. That's the facilitator who is helped in the process. Such a structured approach can help the individuals identify the areas where they need to improve and develop the skills while working towards the achievements. So, moving ahead, there are different types of coachings, as we all know, as you would have seen: life coaching, executive coaching, collaborative coaching, personal coaching, sports coaching, team coaching, performance coaching, etc., etc., etc. Finally, the meaning of the coach is to transport a person from one area to another, from one skill to another. End of the coaching, there should be output, or the outcome should be that you have learned something which you will be able to take it forward. That's what is the coach is all about. So it justifies the meeting, it justifies the meaning and the etymology which is involved in it. So in this process of coaching, we generally talk about life coaching. What is life coaching? It's a collaborative and goal oriented process which is aimed at enhancing individual and the personal life of a person with an ultimate objective of realizing that ideal vision. End of the coaching, there should be some enhancement in your personal level, or otherwise even in your professional level, and ultimately it will help you to take forward in your ultimate vision. So what does the process involve? It involves working closely with the person, with a qualified coach who provides the guidance and the support and also the feedback to the client to overcome the challenges. Identify how do we overcome the challenges when you know yourself better. That's why I said in the beginning of the session also I mentioned that you need to look into yourself so that you are able to identify your strengths and weaknesses and leverage them to achieve their goals. As we all know, as we have seen yesterday also, achieving goals means always the smart goals which are involved in the process. So the coaching process typically involves, as I told you, it is leading you to the destiny. What is destiny? That we have seen in the beginning of the session. It is like tapestry, one leaf on top of the another, one page on top of the another, such that it is always derived from the past, looking into the present, which is a gift, and taking it forward to the future. So the coaching process involves a series of one-to-one session during which the coach and the client engage in a meaningful conversation of looking into self, looking into the challenges, how what are the skills that they need to imbibe in them, and how to develop those skills, and finally how to achieve their goals. So this thus developing actionable strategies to overcome the obstacles and achieve derived outcomes. So the coach always provides accountability and helps the client to stay on the track towards their goals with the focus. In summary, life coaching is an essential effective tool for individuals to seek to improve the personal and the professional lives. It provides a supportive environment for individuals to explore their skills and to move on. So the prerequisites of a professional coach. When we talk about the professional coaching, what you should know as a professional coach is the first knowledge of your niche. First thing, you should know exactly what you are capable of. From there, we will be able to we will be able to take it forward. And excellent soft skills you should have, that you should be able to present, the way of communicating, the way you are making people comfortable, the way you are able to engage them in activity, and you're also about not only engaging them in activity, from the activity what you can derive. So all these things in comprise, put together, they form the soft skills. And determined focus is very important because you know exactly where you're going to take your person, your client. So with the focus, come what may, step by step, I will be leading him to there. So there's very strategic focus should be there. And of course, sales and marketing are added to it, definitely. In today's world, as we all know, life is not just charity, so it always involves sales and marketing. Marketing is selling yourself and selling your product. As such, you will be able to take it. Subject matter expertise is optional, though it is optional, but it is very, very indispensable. Subject matter of expertise means exactly what does it mean is you may be doing a professional coach for a maths trainer or a maths tutor. You need not be an expert in maths, or you need not be very good in algebraic operations or the formulas or etc etc etc. But when you are teaching a maths trainer, when you are teaching a maths teacher, so what happens exactly, you will know exactly what all things this person needs as a teacher to provide himself, to equip himself, to what are things that he needs to imbibe himself, to update himself so that he is able to carry forward in his journey. So, what is the focus? What is the goal? What is he looking for from you exactly? So, those things, if you are clear, subject matter expertise takes a second option, second leader. In another words, another one more example is that if you are training a business development executive, say for example, the development executive may not have a communication skill, or it could be only his problem, or he is not able to be, he didn't have an interpersonal skill, he has not developed interpersonal skill, or he's an introvert or whatever. In that case, you need not, as a coach, you need not have a full idea or a full expertise or a full authority of the business management systems, but on working with your client, we should have a very clear knowledge about your client, about his soft skills, what he is good at, because we are always going to focus on the strengths and move forward. So his soft skills, which are very, very important for us, but our focus is taking it forward in imbibing new skills, which makes him more competent among the world in taking it forward. So excellent coaching skill, exactly. Coaching. When it comes to coaching, how many of you believe that? I'm sorry, it's not an interactive session. So in that case, we all know, we all think that coaching is something which we are going to take up only when we have a problem, when we have a challenge, when we have a difficulty. Not at all. Who taught the child to walk? Who is the coach there? The child is the learner. The child's inborn tendency to learn, to walk, is to toddle. That's the coach. That's the main focus. That's the main trigger. That there's a stimuli exactly that makes the child walk. So essential, the coaching skill doesn't start at a particular stage. It has already been with us right from our childhood. Only thing is we have forgotten to take it further, and we have left it. So whenever in terms of any difficulty, I'm going back to the childhood. In the sense, from the childhood, who taught the child to speak? It's the child's effort, consistent effort to learn things, to learn the alphabets, to learn the sounds, to learn the, to observe, understand, and like getting into the habit. So all these things the child has been continuously working on to achieve that particular skill of speaking. So the coaching is always there in us. Only thing is we need to focus on exactly what we need to work on, which skill that we need to work on, and we can always bring it out. So in that case, when it comes to the coaching, so coming to the relatively relating it to the modern world, in the modern scenario. So when who needs exact coaching is that people when they have a difficulty, when they want to achieve something, when they want to really move forward, when they get stuck, they look for a coach. As we have seen in the beginning of the session, the video. Why did we need an expert? The ship owner was not able to identify the problem with the ship, and such that he wanted an expert to come and help him. Such that why do we need a coach? Is that when we have a problem, when we have a challenge, when we get stuck, when we want to move ahead, the one who is going to give a pat at the back and say that come on, you can do that, come on, is the one who is which we'll be getting from the coaching. So the essential coaching skills, what are the skills that are required for the essential coaching is that very deep listening. As you all know, how you get to know a person better is that when you speak to a person, you always speak with the eye, looking at the eyes of the speaker, observing the body language and understanding them exactly what they are comfortable and what they are not quite comfortable with. So how then this comes with the body language. So moving ahead, exactly looking into the deep with the deep listening skills, even the tone, the way of expression, the way they open up, all these things really counts. That's why the deep listening skills involves a value, which is a very key thing that a coach should have. That's the empathy. You put yourself in the shoes of the client and listen to him very, very carefully, such that you will be able to understand him from his point of view. Of course, we know that exactly. As I told you, what is the focus, what is the requirement, that we know it very well. Because our focus is, okay, fine, that's the target. We know the target. But how to move to the target, how to guide to the target step by step. We should understand this person. We should understand this person from his point of view. And then what are things that has the skills that he has, the competencies that he has, and what is he wanting to do. So it's more kind of knowledge KWL chart. What do I know better? What I'm doing now and what I'm going to do further. It's like that. So you tend to develop having deep listening skills with the value of empathetical view, help the coach to identify the problem from his point of view. And how do we do that? With excellent questioning skills. When it comes to the questioning skills, there is an art of questioning which is involved in it. Some questions really put us in love. Sometimes everywhere it so happens. We have seen it. In the sense like, so the way we question our client, we should be able to derive the answers from them, from understanding the problems such that, and when you are doing this questioning, when we are having this interactive sessions with them, we need to observe them about their body language, about the way of expression, about the strengths and weaknesses, and also the hardships which they are facing. And like this can be done with supplemented questioners that you can give them exactly. Say for example, what is that you are doing? Which part of the challenge that you are not able to handle? From when you have been facing this problem? Okay, you have been facing this problem, and then what you have done? What you have done from your side to identify this problem? What you have done to solve this problem? Have you attempted to solve this problem? All these of excellent questioning skills will lead you to the path of excellent coaching. And also, when you do that, you need to observe exactly. So that why do we do that? Because our target is to find exactly what's the problem. When you know the problem, when you know the challenge, you will be able to get the solution. So this can be done with consistent asking and giving feedback one by one, and such that resolutions towards the goal. Yeah. So what is very important in that is the coach and the coachee relationship. So we work together to explore what is possible and promote and discover the new insights from them. Enter into the coaching arrangement as equals. Respond to the coachee's agendas, goals, and needs of the program, relationship than imposing or directing them for an agenda. This is very, very important. We never direct them, or in other words, what do I say that we don't give them solution, but we always lead them, direct them, or hold them hand in hand and take them forward towards a solution. So in this, very, very important, we should have a communication channel very clear, very transparent, such that agreeing to communicate honestly, being open to feedback is very important. Why do I say honestly? Because first is that before entering into coaching, it's always better to enter into a contract like understanding, or any documentation is very, very important. The day you came, very important. The way you just so when they come, normally you get the written thing written by them, and exactly what they want to do, why they have come here today to meet you or to you exactly. So that is very important. So agreeing on exactly how the coaching process is going to be, how we are going to help, and what's the outcome. All these things have to be formulated before starting your coaching. And creating a timeline is very important. What's the so everything goes against the time. So setting up time goals and everything, as we have seen in smart goals, setting up goals also, time comes up, realistic goals comes up, achievable goals comes up. And so exactly we have to get into this contract between the coach and the coach and the coachee for executing the coaching very successfully. And the coachee, finally, it is the coachee who is responsible for their own learning and growth. So, in this process, we should set up this coaching ground rules, that is process, expectation, and the partnership, etc. So the coaching process involves establishing the context for coaching, exactly, create an understanding and the direction, if it's for the personal coaching I'm talking about, and the review is very important. At every stage, you need to monitor, you need to review, confirm learning and the completion. So this is how the whole process goes about. Thereby, you can always, in this whole process, parallelly, you need to work on establishing, strengthening rapport with physical appearances and clothes, body language and physical gestures, quality of voice control, beliefs and values, and etc. All contribute to the coaching process. So when it comes to the coaching models, definitely when it comes to, if it's a theory part, I would have gone further in doing this. There is a grow model, there is a clear model, there is a ASPA model. All these things that you can learn exactly when you do coaching as a course. But today it's just a 1 hour program in which we are talking about coaching, exactly what are the skills that they should achieve. So in that case, what we need to do as a life coacher is that build rapport, demonstrate skills, delegate tasks, focus on the issue, manage time. So this is very important. You develop a rapport and you demonstrate the skills which are required. You delegate tasks. You tell them exactly during the process what are tasks that they should be completing. You assign them tasks and review the tasks such that you know exactly whether they are really cooperating and working with you. Otherwise, you need to modify the task according to that suitability. Focus on the issue, because our focus is very clear that we have agreed at the beginning of the session only, coaching session only. So without declining from the focus point of view, and also it's against time oriented. So what are the things that as a life coach you are not supposed to do? Start without building a trust. Very, very important. Before starting the coaching, we need to build the trust and not becoming negative and not losing our focus on being a teacher. This is very, very important. Whether it is the offline or online environment, whatever environment it is, always as a coach, be well organized and confidential. Being non-judgmental is also a very important thing. Ensuring objectivity is again a very important thing. Being very challenging at every point, because whenever we review, whenever we monitor, we need to give them feedback. So be very challenging, be town bound, and focusing on the coach's best interest is very, very important. And the coach's behavior and belief should be very positive, enthusiastic, supportive, goal oriented, patient, and really motivating. So, strategies that help that outcomes are effective communication skills and active listening skills that we have seen, because the art of communication is a fundamental process that facilitates the exchange of ideas, opinions, and thoughts between individuals with the aim of achieving mutual understanding. This crucial process entails the transmission of information from the sender to receiver, who must comprehend the information the same way as the sender intended. So the effective communication is is an essential feature for any successful or academic interaction, and it is critical to ensure the message is conveyed with clarity, brevity, and accuracy. So, okay, for example, a student progress report is the best communication tool that I would say I would give you as an example, because where you are and what you have achieved, from where you're going to move and what you have lost, what you need to work on. So giving a very effective communication, very clear actual progress report is that what is required at every stage. So with active listening skills, we can identify the problems, because active listening skills requires a true feelings of respect towards the individual speaking, and the listener accepts and supports the speaker regardless of the content of the words. So this illustrates the principle of unconditional positive regard. So As I told you in the beginning, before also, empathy is the key factor which is required in this coaching process. We cannot achieve anything unless we get into the shoes of that particular person. So, in this process, moving ahead, monitor the coach's attitude towards coaching, whether they are responding or not. That's very important. Otherwise, it's like teacher giving jargon in the classroom without achieving what is the outcome, the learning objective. So, the success criteria which is required. So, very importantly, you need to monitor the coach's attitude at every stage, whether he is reluctant to change. Because you may be giving so many ideas, you may be guiding them, but if he or she is reluctant to change, so that becomes a bigger problem for you. So in that case, we need to know exactly reluctant to change, expecting solution, always expecting solution. That means immediate result. Anticipating fast solution. That is whatever you have done yesterday, what is outcome tomorrow. So initial excitement, which is being lost in the process, but sometimes they are positive, but they lack in their execution. In that case, always ask your person or you yourself write a statement that summarizes the best solution for the problem. You assign them the task, review or monitor it, document it. Very very important. At every stage, please document exactly what task has been given, what is the outcome, what you are expecting, what could be the actual outcome, and what could have been the actual outcome, and what was the actual outcome. So document it such that you will exactly know the strengths and weaknesses and the threats, the challenges which you face in that particular and handling that particular task. And if the person is still debating between the remaining problems, a few remaining possible solutions, it may have to draw out the solutions on the graph which shows its advantages and disadvantages and compare the graphs against each other. That's the SWOT analysis, as you all know. Whenever they bring a solution, always work for advantages, benefits, threats, and opportunities. So with that, we need to have the plan of action, very defined plan of action, such that once they have decided on a solution and written it down, it's time to write the plan of action. So, with our client, in order to hold them accountable, people who know where they're going in life, whether they achieve the further success or than to merely drift from the life experience, expecting circumstances or to create opportunities for them, it is very, very important to write down the plan of action very clearly with the timeline and the process. So always, please, when you're writing the plan of action, it requires the client to define the details of the specific steps which are required to take to make the solution work for them. So if at all we come as a failure, always failures are treated as a learning experience. So what they have learned from their experience, even that should be documented very clearly to take it further. Such that with these plan of action, we will be able to monitor. Why do we actually have this plan of action documented? To monitor exactly what is coming up. Okay. When it comes to the implementation stage, is a period where the plan of action is set to next. So the session, coaching is a progression, and our job is to check on exactly check on with them that for every session to see how the progress is going, and the client will have difficulties along the way which may require us. So in those cases, in those instances, as a coach, we need to assist them, but we don't give them solutions. Remember that we don't tell them exactly what they should be doing, but they will look into themselves. They will only come up with their own solution to explore some limiting belief with them and challenge them with Socratic questions. So reviving the successes, failures, and the progress and the client makes a crucial part of problem solving process. And the client will learn as much as they learn from mistakes as well as the successes. Before long, tackling the problem is a structured way that will become the second nature for them. So, how is the person coming along with the process? So, what kind of questions that you can ask? Some examples are given here. What part of the plan was working well for you? Which part of the plan is not working so well? Which part of the plan needs to change? What are your next steps? So continuously you can ask them, you can continuously monitor them, asking them these questions such that they will be in track with you. Why do we do that? This is only a tracking process. However, it is after a number of weeks, the clients may not have taken the action. We need to accept that the client is losing the motivation such that we are ready to change in that case. So why do I say that? Because we have to get into shift gears with metacognition. We know that metacognition is change of strategies. So what is the challenge now? Our client himself has become a challenge. Our coachee has himself become a challenge. So we need to look into that such that we are able to help them once we have got the reason. Once we have got reason why the client's pain or deficit exists, the life coach easily shift. We should be ready to change the conversation from the chair, what the client doesn't want to do, to exactly what the client is happy to do. So this stage of involving a shift, again, understanding with the term of empathy and clubbability. It is the responsibility of the coach to look into himself to change the strategy, to give a different perspective, to give a different plan on a different situation. So we also, not only the coachee, but also the coach should be ready to change. So these are things that we have talked about life coaching skills, that is on one-to-one basis. That when we get stuck, exactly, when we are talking about one particular person, only one person and one coachee, it's not a session, it's not a coaching session for a corporate or whatever. We are talking about from one person, a coach to a coach. So when it fails, exactly, that means we are moving ahead with the problem such that from a small problem, it is going on to a bigger problem. In that case, what is required? Coaching becomes for a counseling. It goes to a mode of therapy. What is required now is a therapy mode. And a coaching is not just the coaching, but it becomes a training process. Now, because our coachee has not responded to a coaching session or a coaching, so he needs something else. So we need to adapt our system. Not only we need to change the strategy. When we change the strategy, when we say that we are changing the strategy, what is required, we need to change on to the mode of coaching. That is, our strategy should change. And moving ahead, our coaching will become a training process with effective communicating skills, or sometimes it may go to the next stage of NLP techniques or a life coaching technique. So what is the difference between a life coaching or a counseling or a therapy? Life coaching, when you say life coaching, it is time bound. It has a coaching session, 1 or 2 sessions, but that the coaching is over. When it comes to counseling, usually it is a longer term. And when it comes to therapy, it can be more than the counseling session. So in a life coaching session, the coach usually guides the coach to reach the full potential. In a counseling session, he shares the knowledge and experience on one-to-one basis, records it and monitors the process. And therapy, he tries to understand exactly why there is the problem, what could be done, and then you become a doctor, you become a person who will be able to diagnose, who will be able to administer exactly what is required, and you will be able to take you through and through. So third point is that skills. When it comes to the skills, life coaching skills are mandatory. Simple coaching skills that we have seen so far is mandatory. When it comes to a counseling session, then a knowledge of psychology is very, very important. That becomes a key requisite. And when you become a therapist, then an approved license is a key requisite. So these are the requisite qualities which are required in these 3 processes. And fourth is knowledge. Exactly. Knowledge means exactly about the client, basically about the client. So the domain knowledge is not required. You may know the client because it's just 1 or 2 sessions that we're going to see in the life coaching process. When it comes to your counseling session, means for a period of time, then you should know very clearly about the client history is known. And when it comes to therapy, you should focus on the past trauma and the issues that the client has faced. So moving ahead, what are the questioning and the listening skills? Is that life coaching, where life coaching session involves questioning and listening skills are important. When it comes to a counseling session, then psychological diagnostic skills are very, very important. Why do I say diagnostic? Because you are going to diagnose something, and you're going to write it down. So psychological diagnostic skills are very, very important to know exactly what are the strengths and weaknesses. And when it comes to therapy, it is introspection and the analytical skills to eradicate the problem such that you are giving RX, that's the treatment. So when moving ahead, then the student is in a life coaching, the student is coaching, the counseling, the same student is called a client, or in a therapy session is called as a client or a patient. So what's the difference between the coaching and the training? Coaching is guiding the coachee to reach the full potential. That's it. Training usually understand the knowledge and the skill gaps. And the coaching involves the person who facilitates is called the coach, and the person who facilitates the training is called the trainer. It is about coaching is enhancing the knowledge. What the strengths you have, what are the skills you have, you are developing competencies. Training is that you're transferring the knowledge, you're giving the knowledge, you are making them aware exactly, holding them hand in hand and taking them to the lead. And coaching usually is done on one-to-one basis. Training is applicable for a group setting. With the experience, coaching with the experienced coach or with the experienced coach, and the training is done with the trainers. So in all these things, to sum it up, what is very, very important is, as a coach, you lead by example, you be very humble with vulnerability, humility, fairness, and open communication. Second, very important, build trust and connection with team building activities or active listening, celebrating success, show empathy and understanding, etc., etc. Encourage risk taking and learning. So normalize mistakes, promote experimentation, provide constructive feedback, reward learning and growth, exactly, and foster open communication feedbacks with regular check-ins, with anonymous feedback mechanisms, actively involving soft skills, etc., etc. And always don't forget, whether it is coaching or a training, doesn't matter. 8 pillars of positive culture should be always there. Respect on valuing each other. Support we raise by lifting each other. Recognizing by celebrating every milestone, every single good thing that they have done should be celebrated. Unity of stronger things together. Moving ahead with communication is to bridge for clarity, exactly. Work-life harmony, because well-being matters, and trust is the foundation of success. So when you do this, when you are going to achieve this, what is the key thing that we have to always keep in mind without any compromises? These 3 key things: intelligence quotient, emotional quotient, and the social quotient. That is social intelligence quotient. So how well they have, what is it? Because intelligence quotient, as you know, how well they have learned, understood, and used the information. EQ always try to help you to find the ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions. Social quotient always help you to navigate the social situation and manage the relationships. So, why does it matter? It is essential for making strategic decisions, solving problems, and innovation in business also. And the emotional quotient, as you know, is a key to managing teams effectively, building personal resilience, and leading with empathy. And the social intelligence quotient is very important for crucially building stronger relationship, networking, and collaborating, etc., etc., etc. So some examples are given here. So the coaching and the guiding principles revolves around the elements of life, basically about why do they come to the coach? Normally, that's the question. These are the answers for the question. So normally, when it is self, it is about career. I have a problem with my career. I need to enhance my career. I need to go off my career path, etc., etc. Family, exactly. I have a problem with my father, I have a problem with my wife, I have a problem with my child. So many things it just goes on. And then fine, it could be other way around. It could be physical science. I'm not getting this. I'm too big. Obesity is one major problem. One good example that we can always take for physical science or any kind of therapy, speech therapy, or any kind of speech problem or other attention deficit problems, etc., etc., etc. that we can Should we go ahead with the session? I heard. Sorry. So, with the career, family relationship, physical science, and the mental and emotional science also cater to it, sometimes the spiritual science. So, when it comes to the society level, it's the community science. So, basically, career, professional, and the society contribution all sum it up to the coaching principles. And how to bridge well when it comes to the community, exactly. We should have a very clear idea of the global skills which are required. That's the key of the life. That's the actual milestone that we need to work for. So, how do we understand? What are the 4 ways to bridge the gap between the global skills? Understand what's the skill or of what is the skill that your organization or your country needs. That's very important. Map it with the national skills of an overview of the skills of the future employees or technical or non-technical jobs of the specific skills, but relating it to the emotional, rational, and the community well as well. Develop a regional and the national skills forum to improve information sharing among the key stakeholders and leverage corporate training outside the box. So when it comes to the global skills, what we need to understand is that the unanimous problem which is existing through and through is the youth employment crisis. So, as a coach, as a trainer, we need to have an idea of these global problems as well. One such problem which I've taken here is the youth employment problem. Youth employment problem is a crisis that has the implications of the social stability and equality exceeding anything we have experienced in history. So this is one example which I'm giving. So comparing the jobs which are existing with the jobs historically by the youth at the risk of being automated accelerating pace with the recent survey that exactly why am I giving this example? This is just an example slide for you to get an idea of exactly as a coach that you should be aware of. If you're not aware of, we know about the person who have submitted a requisition for the coaching or the training. So on that note, we can do our reference work, but we need to have our knowledge very clear of exactly what is the problem that the support is required. Also, understanding, say for example, if you're talking about the unemployment levels or unemployment problem that the young people are facing or which are required. So you can always ask your team what are the problems, understand what the skills of the organization the country needs, what specific skills does your country or your business or your workers need to possess. Answering these questions will help us to streamline the to build a career for the pipeline of workers suitably trained for the future. So that's how this one example that we have taken. So in that case, what are the strategies that we will just help them to come up with? Say for example, it is about if you're talking about the Again, youth employment problem. It is about the national skills of the map, the overview of the future employees, technical and non-technical job specific skills, which are related to the emotional, rational, and communicative ones, etc., etc. And these maps include standardized definitions, methods of measure whether skill or a not or a skill that has to be learned. For example, if you take Singapore as an example, Skills for a Future program provide opportunities for all learners, from students to experienced careerists, to identify appropriate skills for chosen profession and provide access to resources need to master the skills targeted to all Singaporeans. It encourages lifelong learning and skill development. If it's from Germany, Germany's Skill Anticipation Program and Skills Intelligence to project what future labor market might look like, even providing forward-looking career guidance to job seekers, insight to educators into what skills you need to as they prepare to get into the workforce. The newly released our own LinkedIn Skills Graph represents momentous globally relevant step forward for skill identification and mapping. These platforms always useful because they are all grounded by skills taxonomy and their names define useful skills and the ways to measure them. With a skill map that outlines the categories of the jobs in industries of national importance, including the small, medium, and sized enterprises and the requisite skills and the skill tracking that helps identify the education training requirements that outlines these skills that are to be acquired. So by the end of the session, I will be sharing the professionals list exactly and also the skills that are to be, and if at all they have a particular qualification, which are the job opportunities that they can go in for. So leverage corporate training outside corporations. Many corporations have internal skill development platforms that help the current employees acquire new skills. But what about the future employees? By pairing the elements, the best of the corporate programs with the government national policy network, stakeholders can join and help high quality national skills develop program that German to national and the local populations efficiently achieve scale and doesn't need to be grounded up. So all these things are just examples how to tackle a problem. Say, for example, if you're talking about the skills, if you're talking about the unemployment problem, which has been gripping the world, in that case, what is actually required, the skills which are required, and what are the challenges, and how to get off with that, what are the chances that we can do. Say, for example, the example that we have taken is consider Amazon Web Services, that is AWS or Microsoft Learn. These provide the students and military veterans with the access of skill training courses from cloud carriers, outline pathways to technology career tracks with AWS Educative Initiative and Job Broad connects the participants with the technology jobs at Amazon and other companies. So again, Microsoft Learn is an online training program that helps any interested individual to achieve proficiency on a series of Microsoft technologies. UVA, Generation Unlimited India, and PwC are developing platforms that will aggregate the existing platforms to provide job opportunities for all the youth and to all the million young people in India by 2030. Similarly, Youth Agency Market Space, that is YOMA, is a digital ecosystem platform developed by the Generation Unlimited and partners with UNICEF and Botner, where youth can engage into social impact initiatives leading to skilling and economic opportunities as well. These initiatives, aligned with UN Sustainable Development Goals, create a youth market space for skills, digital profiles, employment, and entrepreneurship, such that youth are no more job seekers, but they will be job givers. So public and private partner organizations use this site to interact with the youth across the globe, supporting them and providing them with all opportunities. So what is required? A verifiable digital CV. So if we are going to create a LinkedIn profile, or anyone who is having a premium profile or in a LinkedIn will know exactly it is verified. Get the verification certificate. So the verifiable digital CV is registered with the certified credentials, stored with the distributed ledger, and users are encouraged to rewards and also give recommendations such that it is through universal and people will be able to apply and acquire any kind of jobs through and through. So as a coach, we need to have knowledge of all these ideas such that when a anybody who comes to us with a problem or with a wanting of any particular skill, we will be able to guide them. So develop a regional or a national skills forum to improve information sharing among the key stakeholders. It's a very key thing. Sharing information about skill development across the regions, across different countries is a very important part of solving youth unemployment crisis, because half of the skills is short and getting shorter. We need skills in demand forecasting engine that cuts across the regions and industries. It takes employees, educators, government officials, and professional organizations working together to address the trends in the job market, identify skill gaps, and support programs that the youth need to thrive. For example, Bangladesh National Intelligence for Skills, Education, Employment, Entrepreneurship, that is, gathers government stakeholders, skilled service providers, industry associations, industry leaders, others to facilitate information data sharing around the skill development. So it is here the key stakeholders share information and best practices, acquire the data related to upskilling, reskilling, and the skill providers can align with those industries, providing job opportunities, entrepreneurship opportunities, training, and apprenticeship opportunities to those who require. So in today's rapid changing, uncertain world, coaching and mentoring embrace the imperative continuous professional development and capacity building. So a powerful narration of this responsibility could emphasize that coaching and mentoring serve as dynamic hubs of knowledge and innovation, where educators are not only imparting information but constantly evolving themselves, because education is a learning process, is a life learning process. And imagine where the coaches are not just facilitators of learning but avid learners of themselves, engaging with ongoing professional development program to stay abreast of the latest research, pedagogical approaches, and technological advancements. They actively seek out opportunities for growth, collaborating with colleagues, attending workshops, and pursuing advanced degrees of certification. So, in this narrative, we sum it up saying that coaching and mentoring are depicted as vibrant communities of lifelong learners committed to excellence and innovation, and they recognize that remaining static in the world of relentless change is not an option. Instead, they embrace change as an opportunity for growth and adaptation. By fostering a culture of continuous learning, unlearning, and relearning, coaching and mentoring empower the educators to navigate uncertainty with confidence and resilience. So, such that they equip them with the skills, knowledge, and also the communities. Ultimately, they will gain to develop a dynamic future for all. So, in this mutual process, we are able to develop a dynamic future for all. So, moving forward now towards relating coaching to the community development, how it can contribute to the community development. So far, we have seen only about coaching one person or corporate firm. So when it comes to the community development, your contribution as a coach or how you can train a group of people or a community moving ahead in 2020, what are the skills that we're actually looking for people? Is that complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, people management, coordinating with others, emotional intelligence, judgment and decision making, service orientation, negotiation, and cognitive facility. See how the graph has moved from 2015 to 2020. Moving ahead, we are talking about 21st century now. So when it comes to 21st century, it becomes critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication, information literacy, media literacy, technology literacy, flexibility, leadership, and the social skills which are involved in it. So when it comes to the 21st century skills, how today's students can stay competitive in this changing job market. That's what we are going to see further. So three different skills which they need to acquire in them is that the learning skills, that is critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication. The four C's together, they form the learning skills. When it comes to the literacy skills, it is information, media skills, and technology, which is called the literacy skills. When it comes to the life skills, it is otherwise called as the flips, which so the three 21st century skills categories are those learning skills, literacy skills, and life skills. Learning skills are the four keys which teach the students about the mental processes required to adapt and improve upon a modern work environment. When it comes to the literacy skills, that is IMT, focuses on how children can discern the facts, publishing outlets, and the technology behind them. So we recook ourselves according to the requirement. There is a strong focus on determining the trustworthy sources and the factual information to separate it from the misinformation that floods the internet. So the life skills. When it comes to the life skills, it is otherwise called as the flips. That looks into the intangible elements of the students' everyday life. These intangible forces focus on both the personal and the professional qualities. So when it comes to the learning skills, we have seen exactly what are the learning skills. When it comes to the critical thinking, it's critical thinking, creativity and collaboration and communication. When it comes to the literacy skills, it is information, media and technology, as we have seen. When it comes to the flips category of life skill, it is flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity and the social skills. All these put together are very important when we do the coaching for the 21st century skills that is very much required in today's world. Now, how to teach all these skill sets? That is, how to have these learning strategies put up, foster all these social, emotional skills as well. So critical thinking, when it comes to the critical thinking, it will involve the problem solving as well. When it comes to the creativity, it can talk about the creativity of the person or about creativity of exactly how to handle the problem with metacognition. Means one which is not present, we are going to add on to that. So when it comes to that, when you're able to create, then the second is that how to communicate to have a better output and how to collaborate. Finally, how to collaborate. So when you have your creation, when you have your communication process well set, and third is that to take collaboration, to take forward, to collaborate with people and to build up the curiosity, to have the initiative and to have the other characteristic qualities which are imbibed in it, that is the persistence and the grit of determination with the focus to move forward to adaptability and leadership. So encourage how to teach all these skills. Always remember, encourage play-based learning. Break down the learning into smaller coordinated pieces such that we are able to review, monitor and track down the processes. Create a safe and environment for learning. Develop growth mindset. Growth mindset, in other words, it evolves from the metacognition ability. That means we need to grow. Exactly. We are ready to change. Adaptability to change. And foster nurturing relationships. Always allow time to focus. Foster reflective reasoning with analytics. Offer appropriate praise, which is very much important. Encouragement is very, very important. That makes people work more for you. Guide the child's discovery of the topic. Help the children to take the advantage of the personality and the strengths. Provide appropriate challenges. Offer engaged caregiving. Provide clear learning objectives, targeting expert skills, use of using hands-on approach. So moving ahead, so we will not go into this in detail because we have read through those points in the previous slide. So these are the general skills that people look for in future. Say for example, I've taken 5 different countries for example in comparison, that is US, UK, South Korea, China and Kenya. So when it comes to the IT skills, basically, when we talk about IT skills or the digital skills, in other words, a major part of 21st century skills. So US, UK, South Korea, China, and Kenya. So this strategy, this map shows exactly what they're looking at. Computer, interactive whiteboard, laptop, tablet computer, handheld device, etc., etc., etc. And you can see the graph, how it goes. And finally, presentation software, how people are good at it, developing digital content, school website or the portal, etc., software and training, managing records for the data handling, education mobile app, education video game, tool for organizing work, online text assessment, media project and spreadsheet, graphing program, social media tool, adapting learning software, digital reader, augmented reality, learning management system, online portals, entertainment, video games, electronic portfolio, and for students, online folder, virtual and online learning, whiteboard systems, chat rooms, smart rooms, then about video presentation, etc., etc., etc. So this is what the 21st century is all about. Along with 21st century skills, we always require social skills. That these are different professions that requires the social skills, requires math skills, requires science skills to move forward. Along with that, when we talk about science skills, these days with the upgraded technology and also the requirement of reducing the carbon print, people always look for green job vacancies on the rise. But workers with the green skills are always on the short supply. So to meet the growing demand for the green skills, both employers and the workers need to focus on reskilling. And this has to be done from 2015 to 2023, where employment in the renewable energy industry grew in every country as we studied. So these are the green skills that we're talking about today. So what are the green skills? When we talk about green skills, what is that we are talking about? Critical systems with the natural centric learning, that is moving our life relating to nature in whatever that we are doing, associating with nature in whatever that we are doing. If it is learning related to nature, say for example, if it is a science lesson or a maths lesson, how can we relate it to the nature? That's what is the thing about. So scientific understanding, nature connectivity, practical and technological hard skills, long-term thinking, dynamic operations and crisis management, historical and cultural understanding to think about the part related to the present, take it forward. Monitoring skills means observing things, monitoring with a track record. Baseline and feedback skills, always that is very important that people need to give feedback for all the tasks that we do. So the baseline and feedback skills, pioneer and entrepreneurial skills, interpersonal skills and for kindness, informational skills, defense skills, diverse thinking, and non-neurotypically. So these are the 15 green skills that people are looking for. When it comes to critical systems and natural centric thinking. So natural centric design with cloud-based thinking and systems redesigning. Means restructuring an organization because the whole world is going on a change. So if we are not going to think about change, we will be lost in the whole world. So understanding our world as an interconnected and interdependent, asking challenging questions of ourselves and also of the ingrained normalities and returning to putting the nature at the center of how we think. Second is that the scientific understanding for each and second green skill is having a scientific understanding of exactly the whole process, appreciating the core science concepts underpinning with the climate and the natural emergency from the Earth's natural systems to the physics of the wider universe. Natural connectivity, embracing and fundamental interdependence with the rest of the nature, helping others around us to better connect, to have a better place to live in. That's what is that, the whole. The practical and technical skills and the hard skills, the scientific expertise in the hard skills with the necessary to enable to regenerate future. Long-term thinking, putting future generations at heart for all decision making and planning and evolution and for resilience with 7th generation thinking skills. So then moving ahead, dynamic operation and crisis management. This is very, very important. It is not just the risk management systems are in vogue, but to have the restoration in place. The restoration management also should be there in the dynamics, and restoration skills are also required. So the history of cultural understanding and respected learning from the diverse global cultures of a collective history from creation to crisis. Monitoring skills, understanding and applying to the latest tools and the framework to report on the key natural systems impacts from the greenhouse gas emissions to the integrity of the wild nature. So baseline fallback skills, always there is going to be a problem. It's not that every time we're going to be successful. So in that case, fallback skills, how to manage them with resilience, knowing how to provide essential life both for in theory and practice for ourselves, for our communities, and to prepare for potential breakdown in life supporting systems. Finally, last but not the least, the pioneer and entrepreneur skills. End of the day, that the visionary and the interdisciplinary building and doing by action, by doing by things, by centering collaboration and cooperation as a collect for a common good. So in this process, interpersonal skills are always welcomed and are the most key thing that will take anything forward. So any task forward, we need to have well-established interpersonal skills for communicating and interacting with compassion and empathy, guiding with the spirit of commonality and kindness. Finally, informational skills, awareness and mechanisms and problems underlying the information we receive, we digest with a willingness, the ability to scrutinize and organize the information for others or such that we will be able to take it forward to the community. When it is so, it is not jeopardizing the situation. It is always the different skills that has been looked for, harnessing altruism to establish systems of defense based on trust and mutuality to avoid violence and build resilience, such that diverse thinking and non-neurotypicality. That means the thinking differently, thinking out of the box and coming up with the solutions such that each and will make each and everybody happy. So how do we do that? With the artistry and storytelling skills, the ability to conjure and shape their compelling and inspiring stories and ideas in terms of art, videos, artworks, guide the humanity to the dreams of what it could be. So that's how it is. So the STEM and other green skills, adjacent skills with the rays of green roles are the gateway for jobs to it. So in the fast growing green skills in the European Union, I've just given the chart for knowing the percentage of it, and the fast growing green skills in the United States, that also I've just given as an example. So the green skills are relevant in more job titles as such for the climatic change, energy efficiency, environmental awareness, sustainable design, and also agronomy, renewable energy, emission control, etc., etc., etc. And the job, which are the job designations that they can hold, that also I've given as an example. Say, for example, meteorologist, agricultural specialist, policy advisor, marine biologist, agriculture specialist. So as a coach, when somebody comes to us, exactly what are the skills that I should need, we should have a very clear idea of exactly what is required by the job, what is required by the society, such that we will be able to give them the ideas. So if we are not able to get any information, LinkedIn is one source that has got all the information always. So life is a journey. Every day we represent a page in your life. So wake up and be open for more opportunities and possibilities in this world. Learn, try, grow, and make the best of each day, and you're capable of doing so much. If you make a mistake, realize it's okay, but keep trying, keep on trying. Be kind to yourself, always be kind to others. That's very important as a coach. And may each person be the better knowing of you. Because there is always only one, that's you in this entire world, whom to be you can be proud of what you have accomplished and how you have overcome the difficulties and the challenges. Thank you so much. I'm open to questions now. Hello? Yes, thank you.
Brilliant session, Dr. Srividhya. Thank you so much.
I would like to hear from them exactly what they have felt and what.
Yes, they are putting it in the chat. Excellent session, ma'am. Great. Any queries, any one of you? Feel free to clear your doubts if you have any. think they are so much into the session. So many things you have explained in depth. So I think they need a time.
Hi, Srividhya. Am I audible?
Yeah, please, sir.
Yeah. Yes, please. Kindly introduce yourself, sir.
Hello?
Yes.
Madam, I am Dr. Mamalan.
Okay. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Actually, we have gone through the life coaching and then counseling and then the therapy. The life coaching normally is time bounded. And then this counseling will take a longer duration. And then
Yes.
finally, the
19
therapy
years,
is also
exactly.
much longer than this.
Yeah.
Normally, we will have very confined problems. We will conclude the severity of the issues, and then only we will go for normally the therapy. Therapy, how it can be much more than much longer duration than counseling, madam.
Exactly. In the sense, first is that, as I told you, very importantly, when you are engaging yourself for a counseling session, first step is that to record it, to understand it. Say, for example, if you're a teacher, probably today you're a coach, probably somewhere you would have been a teacher. When students come into a classroom, normally the first day of the school, what do? They take the diagnostic test. Hope you'll agree with me. Why do they take the diagnostic test? Is that to understand exactly the levels of learning of the particular child. Or if suppose the problem is there, then that also you will be able to highlight to that diagnostic test. Say for
You meant
example,
to say that this counseling will go a long way.
Counseling will go a long way, a little longer way.
Little longer way than life coaching. Than life coaching.
Than life coaching. Exactly.
Then when will we be going for this therapy, madam?
Therapy is exactly when you're not able to resolve the problem.
When final solution is therapy.
Exactly, the final solution is therapy when the problem is not resolved. Say, for example, again a school situation or again a classroom situation. First, the child will not be able to speak. Parents must be wondering at home why the child is not able to speak, and they will be, recording all the instances for the evidences saying the child is not picking up speaking. Say in the classroom situation also, the teacher will be doing the same thing. On one-to-one basis, when you speak, that is where the coaching starts. On speaking with the child, you can understand the difficulties of the child. So you will be able to understand the difficulties of the child in the coaching. That is the first two interview sessions. That is where the coaching is exactly. That is on one-to-one basis, you are trying to understand and giving them instruction, setting them tasks of exactly trying tackling or asking them to repeat some words or exactly. That is what is the coaching. When it comes to the exactly the counseling session is on one-to-one basis, you are trying to understand the problem. You are understanding the child is not able to speak, and you are assigning tasks and you are going to monitor it. Where it is in school level, it is called as IEPs, individual education plan. They will develop an individual education plan for the child and monitor it for a due course of time. Say, for example, 1 month or 45 days or about 2 months. So, when this is what is called as the counseling session, where evidences are being collected. First is the diagnosis, and then the evidence are being supported, and then you identify exactly the child is not able to speak, it needs a therapy support. There comes the training. So that when it goes to the doctor, now we are referring the child to a doctor. That is where you are referring the child to a doctor. That is a therapist. So the child therapist will help the child to speak, will engage in activities to inculcate speaking, or the therapists, they do their job. So such that the diagnostic measures are being taken into action, such that it is a longer process, and the outcomes will not happen within a month or two or whatever thing. It might depend upon exactly until the problem is eradicated. So the support of the therapist is a longer duration, very longer duration, such that we are able to eradicate the problem as such.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you. If the problem is identified is multidirectional, like learning disability as well as not responding to the reactions and so many things, hearing as well as recognizing things, so many things, So in that case, each one is being attended. Each problem is being, each one is attended, and then finding a solution, go for the counseling and then therapy.
In that case, two different disorders are there. As we all know, one is a learning disorder, one is a psychological disorder. So in that case, first is identification. That is the first primitive level. In school language, it is called as a referral level. That is where the coaching starts. Exactly. On one-to-one basis, you are being with the child. That is being the referral, that you are going to consolidate what you're saying. That is where the coaching is. Exactly. And when it comes to the counseling session, it is involving parents, it is involving the child, it is involving every single stakeholder who is involved in the process. Finally, with the counseling session, we will be able to identify and consolidate the problem in terms of exactly what is the problem that the child is facing, whether it is a psychological disorder or a learning disorder. Accordingly, in the third level, it is moved on to the therapist. Exactly, the therapist is the person who will be able to give the interventions, required interventions and the recommendations according to the case study.
Yes, madam. Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you very and although in one direction, that is very.
I'm sorry, your voice is
thank you.
Hi,
thank you.
Am I audible?
Thank you.
Yeah, you are. Yes, yeah.
Hi. So, Srividhya, I have a quick question. I hope I'm audible. My voice is clear.
Yes, Mr. Balaji. Yeah, please.
Okay. So the clarification is, see, today we are in a certification for a global trainer, right? And as you rightly said, in training, you clearly showed us an opportunity across the globe, as well as you were talking about coaching. Yes. And we also differentiated the difference between coaching and training, right? So since this is being a certification for training, global trainer, how do we connect it with coaching in a longer run? If coaching is also one niche, but then it clearly defines that it's different, right? Coaching and training are different ballgame. So,
are you going to be a trainer or a coacher? That's what is the thing. You have to decide. You should know exactly what you want to do. If it is coaching, it is
that part is fine. Like, it is about how we choose our niche. But when you explained about most of those aspects from coaching standpoint, is there an opportunity for a trainer in some point can become a coach globally? And the opportunity is there.
Yes, definitely the opportunity. It is more or less. It is like two hands working together. It could be. Definitely. I would say that coach is the person who will be able to guide, but the coach doesn't give solutions. Coach doesn't give solutions. Coach leads you to solutions, and it is you who have to take the solution. When it's a trainer, I'm really going to work on the strengths and the weaknesses of the person until I eradicate the problem. So the trainer has a very clear output saying that he has to get the output very clear. Means it is with the diagnostic principle. You know exactly what is required. As I told you, when it comes to the trainer, exactly, you should know exactly what is required from the client's point of view, understanding the strengths and weaknesses, such that you will be able to train them. Train in the sense, coaching is only directive. It's just directive, saying that this is what you could do. In the sense, for example, as I explained in the middle of the session, you can ask them, did you analyze the problem? Did you identify the problem? So when you identify the problem, what did you do for the problem? What are the steps did you do to eradicate the problem? So when you do the steps, when you did these steps, exactly what happened? So a coach is a person who is revolving around the problem, giving directives and not exactly giving the solutions. Whereas when it comes to the trainer has to recoup the person with the required skills which are required. Has to work on the skills of the person, basically. That's the trainer. That's the job of the trainer. Because the trainer is more kind of goal oriented. I need to train you for this particular session. I need to train you for smart goals. So as a trainer, my job is not for coaching or anything. I will look only for smart goals, how to get smart goals across to you. That's what I will do as a trainer. Hope I've cleared you. Or if it's not so, then you can always communicate to me.
Any other queries to anyone? Yeah, great. Indeed, great explanation, Dr. Srividhya. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time with us. And hope to see you again in the upcoming next few batches. Stay tuned with IIU. We have few more courses to attend. Certainly will update you on the same ground. Once again, thank you to all the trainees and our great trainer of the day, Dr. Srividhya Sukumar. Thank you. Good night till then. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, IIU, for giving this opportunity. It's definitely a wonderful session with you all. Hope to see you all soon. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the support.
Thank you.